I do.
Shit, I
Uh,
feel you on that. But yeah, I mean, it's just another day, man. Just glad to be able to put in another day of work. Just trying to just keep on pushing on. I mean, at the end of the day, it's better than working for somebody else. Might as well, suffer and struggle through this once in a lifetime thing, doing what we want to do, rather than trying to do what other people are telling us to do.
100%. That's all we can do, right?
Hell yeah. How about yourself?
How's the week been?
It's been good. I was asking, how about yourself? I was asking how your day been.
Oh, sorry, I'm a little tired, a little slow today, to be honest.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been the same way too, bro. The last 2 days, I think it's the weather too.
I see it, weather, travel. There's so much going on out there that's like I think weighing on a lot of people.
Yeah, I seen. Where'd you end up? Where'd you travel to recently?
So I went to Dallas Monday night, and then I got back Tuesday night, and it was pretty
Mm.
much like Wednesday morning, basically.
Did you did you see any Cowboys jerseys out there? Were people still trying to rock the Cowboys?
No, I didn't. I didn't see. Well, I saw a couple of Cowboys hats. So
Oh man, they're bold, man. They're still trying to fight. Are the Cowboys? Let me ask you this: as congrats to the Lions being an NFC Championship, obviously. First of all, let me give you that something that
so exciting, dude.
yeah, exactly. Are the Cowboys possibly the new glorified Lions in this case? 30 years, they haven't been anywhere close. The Lions have now gone 0-16, as they said, and now been to the NFC Championship.
I wouldn't wish that evil on anyone, Ricky Bobby.
Man, like 0-16 to NFC Championship in the same century.
Yeah, I mean, that was like what 08, 07. I can't remember exactly. I was like in middle school when it was happening. I just remember like I can't believe this. Like this is historic even for the Lions.
And the crazier part was Dan Campbell was on that 0-16 team. And now is coaching the only team to get to the NFC Championship. So really, I'm a Chiefs fan, as you see, love it. But at the same time, too, what a crazy story. If the player that was on the worst team in NFL history coaches the team that had not won a Super Bowl to a Super Bowl.
It's that grittiness, that chip on your shoulder mentality. I know Kansas City knows it well because it wasn't just but a few years before Patrick Mahomes came and really turned the franchise around for you guys. So, this has been a dream of mine to see that happen in Detroit, and I don't know. It feels pretty great. I'm excited about it as a fan. Living here in Kansas City, it's very interesting. It's like weird that I moved here this year, and now,
And I think that it also too, it's just like, a lot of people when, the Lions traded Matt Stafford for Jared Goff, it was a lot of talk about, Jared Goff wasn't the guy to do things. And I think that,
and I'm guilty of that. That's what my thought was entirely. I was like, but I just love Stafford for a while.
He's a baller, man. Like,
I'm a big fan of the guy because it takes a lot of heart to stay in Detroit.
Yeah, and he was, like I said, balling out, and I mean, obviously, Megatron was absolute monster. When they call you a fictional character, like grown men are on ESPN saying Megatron, I have no clue what Transformers is. That's when you know you are goated.
That's like the origin of all like myths. Like you're so larger than life. Like your stories, I love.
Him and Stafford in Detroit. That was probably like I said. I mean, I wasn't a Detroit fan or anything like that, but my thing was like watching them on offense. Matt Stafford was gonna get Megatron the ball, and Megatron was probably gonna come down with that shit.
There was a couple of years there where we had Sue, and then we just picked up Reggie Bush. I think it was like around 2011, 2012, something like that. And I was like, oh, I think we're finally gonna like really put some things in motion, do something. And then I think we just had no offensive line. And so, Stafford would hang in there and hit Megatron. But generally speaking, it was like, okay, down, sacked. And that's the story of the Lions.
Yeah, it was just, I think that's one thing that Dan Campbell, and I think him being a tight end, being, in that offensive line and understanding the importance of, it's just like tech. It's like your code, your foundation. It's not like your cool, nice features or whatever it is. It's like you need your baseline user interaction or whatever it is. Exactly. It's like, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people,
Allen Iverson, right? We're going back to
the basics, man. It's like, because a lot of people, you know, and obviously in business too, and you know, with us doing what we're doing now, it's like a lot of people just like go try to like do all these fancy new things, and it's like, no, just what's the fundamental ethos of your business? Like, what are you really trying to solve? What are you trying to do?
Lately, everyone's been under the mindset of the best defense is a really good offense, but I still believe the best defense is a really good defense.
Exactly.
That, you know, that's Iowa's strategy, and they're fearsome. You can't go into their house and play them, you know, because
if they know what they do best.
They have lockdown defense at home, especially.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. It's just like it's crazy how like a lot of those things correlate, like sports and business, and you know, it's like everything is just more or less nature. And it's just like, hey, like you got to know what you do best. Or you have to do the fundamentals so good that even if you meet somebody that's better, maybe their fundamentals aren't good. Maybe their business plan isn't great.
Sure. Or if they are better, what are they better at? Learn from what they're better at, and then also take everything that you've recognized they're not better at with a grain of salt, because, you know, maybe you're wiser in some areas than they are. And that's just the truth. Is like, we have a bunch of different interests and backgrounds, right? We're a holistic person. No one's better than everyone. We're all just uniquely interested in things.
Exactly.
And then that creates this like weird, unique emergent property where like everyone's perspective is pretty dope. But it's worth understanding what that perspective is to understand, all right, I'll lean into this expertise more than this expertise when they're talking out their butt, you know?
Exactly. And it's just like you said, it's the adaptability. And I think that's what makes, and just like I like, you know, those nature documentaries, National Geographic and stuff, like where it's like no tech, it's like who can adapt the best. It's like the things that are surviving at the bottom of the ocean. We talked about this, the whole ocean concept is like the things that are surviving at the bottom of the ocean that's alien life forms. You're talking about things that are surviving at temperatures and pressures that are simulated in space, and they're living, and they're, because they don't have competition, they're growing like at an exponential rate that we can't. It's like, and that's why I just start getting down the rabbit hole about a lot of stuff, man. It's like,
you go every direction with all of this stuff. Like my mind's going to what we're doing with like cells in a petri dish to like create biological computers. And then but like just to take a step back and go back to like how sports and business are the same thing, and everything's just a strategy game, and like, you know, whatever, how well can you get out of your own head and see that 10,000-foot view of how your little fiefdom fits into the larger cog and machine of fiefdoms and the economic reality that we're all interlocked in, or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Do you know the story of the Berserkers?
No, I haven't heard the story of the Berserkers. Please tell.
Okay. So the Berserkers were an elite warrior class within the Vikings. And don't quote me on any of this because it's some sort of Scandinavian shit, and I don't remember exactly what it is.
It's story time. We don't in fables and story time. We don't fact check. We didn't have ChatGPT to fact check, so we're good.
Okay, cool. We're just postulating. I might be taking different elements of the story, but anyways, the whole idea of the Berserkers, basically, this legendary warrior class, was they get them all like, I don't know what mushroom drug they were on, but it was like a combination of like stimulants and like hyped up like adrenaline and epinephrine, and then like a psychedelic, but not like a trippy psychedelic, like a psychedelic that basically put you in this 10,000-foot overview of the game board in a way. And so they would just not, like, these Berserkers would just basically be out of their mind warriors, just like mad dashing, like straight
bro, you know
Leroy Jenkins style into the battlefield and just like destroy shit. And it's because they were viewing themselves on a third person view of the game board as they're going through it mentally, rather than living in like the present moment. They were anticipating where things were on the game board, so to speak.
Bro, you know what, that just, what if, because now you got me thinking again, this is the whole connection with tech. What if whatever concoction they were giving the Berserkers was basically like a natural version of like VR or a video game, to where it's like it's like an outer body experience, to where it's like you're playing GTA and you're like, oh shit, I can see this guy coming from 10 yards. Let me throw this axe over here this way, counter this, counter that. And like, it's almost like the Kung Fu thing where you're moving on autopilot and you're automating, you're not thinking about it. That's a crazy story.
Yes, 100%. It could go that direction. It could go like, so let's pause on that direction, because like, yes, 100% spot on all of that, but I almost want to push back on all of that, because I think it's almost like, if we go the full mechanical, go the mineral like resource route, I think we're going the cop out way. I think that there's like more merit and truth to the organic like kind of shit. In the sense that like maybe we could use AR VR to augment and like teach people about how to utilize these skill sets, but ultimately it comes back to like lower tech stuff like meditation and using science to quantify what's going on there. And I think a lot of people are interested in explaining these somewhat magical phenomena, and we have a lot of the technology and resources to start measuring a lot of these things, because what we've realized is a lot of this is occurring on the electromagnetic spectrum of frequencies. And if we can monitor the disturbances in that, using AI, we can really augment what we're understanding about these phenomena as we're recording them.
Bro, I think you just give me an idea for what we should throw into ChatGPT for today. And two, I like that spin on what you did just there, because I think that what you just said is very profound, because a lot of times, especially, and I just did it with tech, is that we're trying to more or less give credit to the inorganic when the organic is basically the original version, and is really, as we talk about how it's computer chips,
the alpha and the omega.
It's like the L1, like, no offense to AI and ChatGPT, but it's like we're a layer 1 and they're a layer 2. It's like it's great. It's like, hey, yeah, it's faster, whatever it is, but this is the original chain in this concept. So then now it's like us being able to tap into, and again, the original chain is the universe, if you want to say, with like what you said with frequencies, then maybe taking that concoction or whatever it may have been, probably put their frequencies now on that synergy type level, to where now you're able to almost godlike type tap into to everything around you, like a sense of nirvana, more or less, like the ultimate focus.
And honestly, that's where musical theory and other theories start to coincide with scientific theories and stuff, right? Because the harmonics are the frequencies, are the vibrations.
That's why you feel it in your spirit when you hear a good ass song or vibration or rhythm, and it's like you can have a shitty ass day and it completely changes your day.
And that's why there's so many conspiracy theories about how satanic worshipers exploit popular music artists, their lyrics and their music.
Oh shit. Yeah, see, that's my thing, is that like there's two sides to the coin on all these things, because if I'm a person that takes tech and science and facts seriously, I can't sit here and deny frequencies do certain things. There's a reason why our Bluetooth work. There's a reason why our Wi-Fi works. It's all frequencies that they're just tapping into on the same wavelength, more or less.
Yeah.
So then go ahead.
And it's not like woo-woo shit. It's literally electromagnetic pulsing that comes from everything that has energy. Like people forget that calories are a measure of energy. We consume energy so that we can operate. That's what a calorie is. A calorie is a measure of energy that powers the human body.
No different from electricity.
Yeah, it's a kilowatt hour in a different form. I bet we can translate kilowatt hours to calories.
Which is crazy, because then I haven't had a thought, and I saw something where somebody was thinking about I don't know if they did it, having like a Bitcoin gym, and then basically you would like have like people will be on treadmills and they'll run on the treadmills and earn sats. And so basically, since that kilowatt, it was like shit. And then if you did like it's more or less like you take kinetic energy and stuff like that too. So
1 watt is equal to 80% of a calorie per second.
Wow.
But this is cool. Like there is a relationship between calories and the energy coming out of your fucking wall. And it's like, these are the things that people overlook, you know?
Yeah, bro. It's like, so then now it's like, okay.
Just like your car radiates heat while you're running it, your body radiates heat while you're living in it. And those radiations create the electromagnetic disturbances that represent your aura and all that woo-woo shit, right? And so a healthy vibration is a healthy aura. And it's a combination not just of your body, but also the clothes you wear, right?
Yeah.
Because the clothing materials you have also have a frequency which they radiate. And I know this is all just like weird shit for people, but like
it's the truth. You know, it's like if you can sit here and acknowledge that I'm sitting here in light, that means that you can see this shit, which is the same vibration. You can't deny that fact. Somebody had to get the right wattage or the right amount of energy to get that thing to light up and stay lit for a long enough time. And then you can't be like, oh, it's just like, for instance, when people will be like, oh, you know, I don't believe in AI and tech and all this other stuff, but you drive a fucking car, you use a cell phone, you use the internet, you believe in it somewhat. Like, you can't be talking about, oh, I don't believe in these certain things and then deny the facts of like you're using the shit every fucking day. Like, you use the benefits of it. Like I said, it's like some people, you know, with the whole, now there's the whole science debate on what's real or what's not. And it's like, okay, like we can't sit here and deny the fact that vaccines for like polio kept a lot of people from dying. Same thing with flus and stuff like that. Now, what they're doing now in those things, I can't sit here and attest to. But
and that's not against the science. That's against the commercial process.
Thank you. And so it's really just like we're in this weird, and I think a lot of people call it this dystopia, where we don't know what the fuck reality is. It's like most people don't.
Who cares? Who cares what reality is? We're in this thing, the eternal now, the moment, the presence, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, the simulation, you know, all we have is this moment right here. Or it keeps changing as we, you know, interact with each other. But like it's almost like, who cares? I'm almost a nihilist when it comes to that, because I'm like, I have to wake up every day and choose to believe that there's something I want to actually do today, and like why I want to do that. Otherwise, like Anthony Bourdain, I think, is one of the people who said this really well. But I would just choose to smoke pot and lay in bed and, you know, do nothing all day, scroll the feed, because that feels good. That makes like it's not restful necessarily. But when I'm consuming information, I feel like I'm doing something even when I'm not doing something, you know, because it feels like I'm learning, I'm absorbing like a sponge. But at the same time, I know I'm weighing myself down with garbage and probably like taxing my brain a lot more than I should be. And, you know, you have to be deliberate when you wake up in the morning and say, hey, I want to choose to do something today. And for a lot of people, there needs to be a why. Why am I doing that thing?
Yeah. And I think that's why we have a lot of
compelling enough, you know.
And I think that's why we have a lot of issues with you know mental health and stuff like that right now, is because a lot of people just don't have a why. They're just kind of just doing things just to do it. And
and it's not that they believe. I think a lot of people believe they have a why, or that their why is like compelling enough, or their why is just more resource driven. Because a lot of people's why is pay the bills, and there's nothing wrong with that being your why. For you, is something wrong on a societal level of that being your why. But if that's the reality of your why, it's like just not worth blaming you for it, because all you can do is fight against it and overcome your circumstances, but I don't want to put that why on you at the same time. Because everything's a mindset. And if you're too consumed with the why you're being held down, you can't be consumed with why you're going to escape it.
Very true. It's very true. That's crazy times, man. It's crazy times. But so I was going to the idea. So yeah. So yeah. I figured got pitched an idea that I figured might as well do it on here, and I think that it will probably work out pretty well. So was speaking with a nonprofit, and they were talking about how really in the produce space, or I guess in the local urban farming kind of space, really when it comes to land acquisition, it's kind of hard. So my thought was, and basically this is what like I was talking about, I was like, well, cryptocurrency, for nonprofits is a very lucrative thing because they don't pay capital gains, and essentially they can accept it and be able to cash it immediately and all these other things. And so basically we're talking about the concept of what if there was, like, for instance, almost like a GoFundMe page. And so they basically would have like these land plots, and people would be able to donate to be able to purchase the land. So that way the corresponding nonprofit can either purchase the land plot or get the resource or whatever it may be. So basically it would just be more or less the exact same thing that GoFundMe and all these other things are doing, but specifically for these nonprofits to come on, put their resource or thing that they want. Maybe they want to get a plot of land, maybe they want to get a real estate property or whatever it may be. And then people are able to donate their cryptocurrency. It fills up after time, and then maybe after it gets finished, they get an NFT after that, says that they were one of the donors or something of the sort. Very simple premise, because at the end of the day, then now it can just go straight to the nonprofits through like I said, a crypto wallet. Then the platform would just basically take a small piece or whatever it may be for its service fees. And then more or less it's just basically a peer to organization platform in this sense, peer to nonprofit platform, to where now you'd just be like, hey, we want to do we want to clean the ocean over here in California, and we need this certain equipment. It's going to cost $25,000. And then now somebody like me or you or whoever has crypto would go to this page, they'll have their wallet, click it on there, boom, send it to it, and then basically you can be able to fund it. Once it gets funded, it gets unlocked, no different from a smart contract, and then now sent to the corresponding place. So she was interested in it. So I was like, well, I'll talk to somebody I know who can basically probably put together a very simple page to where it's like you can list a couple land plots. We can talk about it, have an event around it, talk to sponsors and be like, hey, you can simply send your crypto to this thing and be able to help this organization do what it's trying to do. So that was basically it. It's like a real simple page. Like they would just have a couple slots. You can choose where you want to, send your crypto. After you could get sent an NFT, you don't have to do that. But then obviously, just to show that you have proof, and then maybe like for them, also some type of verification, that would be great too. But yeah, it was just like, and then obviously maybe you can gamify it or whatever it is and be like, oh, you're on a.
Well, I started with the gamification and then added in everything you were saying as you were going.
Yeah. Because, yeah, bro, it's like, because then now it's like you can have little NFTs and be like, oh, yeah, my NFT, every time I donate, it gets powered up, and then it can be like a little game. And then your character is getting boosted as you're giving donations and shit like that. So then people, and then now you take something like, for instance, gently used car. They'll accept it. Shit, we'll just, liquidate it more than likely. But then now it's like you put use case to these things that already have a monetary value in the crypto space, but most people just can't unlock it. Ooh. All right.
You see that better?
Yeah. Farmville. Urban Farmville is an innovative initiative that transforms unused urban. You can go ahead and read it.
You want to read it? I always read these.
Okay.
I was trying to make it bigger. So yeah. Anyways.
That transforms unused urban lot spaces into thriving agriculture hubs, leveraging the appeal of a Farmville-style video game as a nonprofit fundraising platform. This venture combines urban agriculture, gaming, and the latest in Web3 technology to address food insecurity and promote sustainable urban development. Sounds interesting. To utilize underutilized, that's one hell of a tongue twister. To utilize underutilized urban spaces for agricultural purposes. Jesus Christ. This is why you made me read it. I
love the alliteration. They're trying to fuck with you there.
I know, man. Come on.
If I were to write this, being a snob, ChatGPT, I would have said to maximize underutilized urban spaces. So it's not a tongue twister, but
exactly.
I didn't have editorial review here.
Man, we need a copywriter, bro. That's what it needs. But offering a unique and engaging way for individuals to contribute to local food production and sustainability efforts through a gamified platform. Players will interact with a virtual farm that mirrors real-life urban farming operations. By using real money to purchase virtual resources, players will directly fund the holy shit. Holy shit! Well, first develop
this was my idea. I'm so glad it captured it really, really well.
Holy shit! Players will directly fund the development and maintenance of actual urban farms. This gamified approach not only raises funds, but also increases public awareness and participation in urban agriculture. Holy! We got to do this. We got to do this.
No, I know.
We got to do this,
bro. This is like one of the best things we've ever produced.
We got to do this, bro. We got to do this. All right. So, real to virtual.
I forget her name, but the woman you were speaking to about doing the sustainable Bitcoin mining, this is like probably the full package version of offering this. How do we make this sexy? This is the sexy version. Produce Matrix, baby. This is Produce Matrix.
Holy shit.
Anyways.
So hold on. So now you're talking about, because now if you're talking about this, you're talking about the app to where you can order your food and the game to where you can
play the game alongside the food you're helping to grow.
Oh my God. And then the actual hydroponic, oh Lord have mercy. And then if we can figure out how to gamify how people can take care of like the servers, the fucking Bitcoin miners in a gamified way, and then add it. Oh my God.
I think, look, it's basically by turning the entire world into Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's all we really have to do. Everything's Farmville, everything's Pokemon, and we just have people do, like, they direct virtual agents to the areas to represent the transfer of financial stuff that they want to invest in, essentially.
Every month.
And one of those could be, they earn reward tokens that make them cheaper for them to buy these products down the road, as well as profit share, whatever. It doesn't matter, but all we're doing is giving people a video game, a 2D video game environment to interact with the business of the real world, the economy of the real world. And we're giving them, tools to manage those economic resources in a video game style dashboard, which this is what I've wanted to do with Playhouse and UniPro also. So anyway, but it'd be super cool to do it here for virtual farming and do Farmville.
Bro, you can do that. You could do that with Playhouse, because then now if you just gamify it and be like, hey, like,
sure,
have your virtual agent like secure your data, and it's like building a wall or some shit like that, like Minecraft and shit like that, bro. It's like you just have to simply holy shit.
But bro, I'm Playhouse, and this is Produce Matrix is your project. So I'm like, if you let me use what I'm trying to do with Playhouse to help you build Produce Matrix, this isn't Playhouse, this is Produce Matrix.
Well, no, I'm saying
everything's just gonna be powered. Like the whole Playhouse thing is like, yo, I want to help you secure identity. Part of your identity is this little character that you're going around inside a Produce Matrix with, right?
Yeah,
so,
bro.
Like that's our 1-2 punch combo.
Holy shit. Because I was just even thinking, like, in the matter of, like, just imagine if you had, like, because I was thinking about, like, for instance, with Playhouse, it could have its own game as well, too, though. because then now it's like, just imagine if you had your same character, right? And then your character is like to be able to secure like the whole double blind thing. So just imagine if you had a little virtual avatar that just basically had to ward off all these like attacks on your wallet every single day. And then you have to, because you have to have paper to fund it to be able to do that. Now that's basically his power-ups. So now you have to buy paper to continue to allow them to fend off. Bro, it's like, now you got my head spinning, because I always talk about gamification of everything, but now I'm to the point where just with this little thing, adding a component that I didn't even think of, and this is why we talk about this shit, bro. We are at a point in life where, dog, you can throw shit in here and have no clue what the hell you're going to get back and get a way better idea than what you thought your good idea was.
Well, to be fair, I did direct a lot of this.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I had that same concept and went to somebody else and was like, hey, I want to create a game sort of like this, they're going to give me their bias or understanding of games and stuff like that. With this, you had a game concept, but you're like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to give you this idea and I want to see what you come up with. And it's like almost that kind of like freedom of choice thing, where it's like even though it is biased by some semblance, it's rather unbiased when it comes to a lot of the creativity.
Let's dissect how I was being intentional about how I was biasing it, because I want to talk. Yeah, because there are like biases that I seeded in ChatGPT to get what I wanted, because what it put out was what I had in my head.
Yeah,
I had this in my head. So it didn't, like, I don't mean to say it didn't surprise me and it didn't add elements that were nice twists, but this is the essence of what I was pitching in the first place. And I think it captured it really, really well.
Wow.
And so I asked for a brief business summary because I didn't want it to go into too much details, because it's usually bad at that.
Yeah.
Then I was leading it on that we're saying there's excess lot space in city environments. And I didn't even have to mention the food instability part, but it knows the context of the conversation. And it knows that in the context of the conversation, these are what they're talking about, utilizing the excess lots to address that problem.
Yeah.
Then, because I know the game Farmville involves basically just being a farmer in terms of like a stepwise process and rewarding it with tokens and whatever, I was like, choose that as the video game style, because that would represent the physical operations that are going on at these plots.
Yeah.
Right. And then I want it to be a fundraising platform and a nonprofit. So again, this is seeding more of the social do-good aspect of that, the nonprofit being there and it being a mechanism for fundraising.
Yeah.
And then basically it's a problem resource overview where game players, right, use real money to purchase the rights to the resource for the operation. So they're going to go buy the parts from the store so they can build the farm, and then the real farm gets built because whatever. And you can't pay money to speed it up. You kind of can, but the real-time ticker clock that you watch is a real-time ticker clock. So it's not like 4 hours, boom, your thing's built. It's like 4 weeks, boom, your thing's built. Right?
And then you don't give people that instant gratification. And then now
it makes they want it, they can throw more money at it.
Yeah.
Right? And that would theoretically speed up the time. In reality, it might not. And we have to be wary of which times it does or it doesn't. So we can't let players do that where it doesn't speed it up.
Yeah.
But where throwing more money at something does speed it up, we give them the option to buy a boost, you know?
Yeah.
And then, anyways, I said match the real-time operations of the farms using Internet of Things technology. All of this powered by Web3, of course. So this is where I gave it all of the different buzzwords that I know it needed in order to get it to put out this 2D style video game that would basically tokenize everything and allow people to just, you know, play it like a video game and build an urban farm. And then we just used the real money because we went out and we were like, all right, it's going to cost us this much to buy this machine. Let's upcharge that 20%, NFT it, and put it in the video game and say, we need to buy this in order to build this plot.
People are going to buy their resources because they want their thing to be able to build their little urban farms. they get the satisfaction of building the thing in the game. And then now, obviously through NFTs, as people buy more things, we can do airdrops and other things like that now incentivize people to want to continue to buy. Obviously, you do events at the urban gardens, the urban places that are built. And yeah, bro, like, holy shit. I didn't think this whole premise was going to have a game, but just like that, like, it has a game.
Yeah, I mean, it gets back to everything in life is a 2D board game. It might be the most boring board game you've ever played, but because everything in your life, like, is a goal, is in goal setting orientation, like, I need to achieve this objective, and then I can move on to this next objective. It could be a task, a thought, you know, whatever. It's such mundane bullshit, but it's a stepwise process that you could then represent with a character and icon on a 2D game board.
Holy shit.
Right? And each activity that you participate and complete every day represents in aggregate a bit about who you are as a person.
Bro, it's game time, man. I don't think most people
literally it's game time.
It's literally game time. Most people don't really understand that, dog. Everything with the way technology is like just like that. We can simply, and then now it's like I'm thinking about even the same Farm Bill concept can now move into, hey, we want to buy solar panels and all this other stuff. And obviously, it's like you flip the concept of philanthropy on its head.
If you turn it into a video game, and so now the D-gens want to gamble on philanthropy.
Holy shit.
Now your degenerate gambling can be for good instead of value extraction.
Bro, what the hell, bro? That's yeah, bro. Like, my brain is spinning, first of all, because like I'm literally like seeing it in my head, and that's the problem. Is like I see it in my head, and I'm like, I need to do it now.
Dude, are you seeing it like a Pokemon Miss Jenny interaction where you're at like the Poke Center and you've got I've got Mowgli or Boomer and I'm at the Poke Center is how
I'm thinking like old school, like you can do it two ways. You can do like old school, like 8-bit, and then or you could do it like, you know, maybe like a little Minecraft kind of version kind of thing, which a lot of people are
I'm all for modernizing it, just mentally in my head. I've been picturing it as my childhood, you know?
Game Boy, bro. I'm going old school Game Boy, like like, because if we
let you just choose your aesthetic skin? Do you want 8-bit? Do you want Avatar? Do you want Dragon Ball Z? Do you want Rick and Morty? Choose your animation style.
And you can buy the skins, obviously NFTs as well, bro. This is money in the bank, bro.
This has been Playhouse from the beginning. Here are the two things I think I'm building. I think I'm building you your office, and I'm building you your house. Okay?
Yeah.
So in your house, we got to manage your inventory of goods because they represent all of your liquid resources. Because this speaker I have behind me is not worth nothing. If I needed to pay a bill tomorrow that was like $200, I could liquidate it and pay that bill, right? Yeah. And that builds up a portion of your net worth that generally isn't captured for the middle class and the lower class people. So that's one way in which Web3 and tokenizing your home adds value. But I wouldn't want to do that necessarily without making it a value add for you. And so I have this weird background where I worked in the grocery advertising space for a few years. And so that hackathon that I won with my tokenized grocery list app is like just one of the many ways that if I tokenize basically your grocery list, I know what you have in your fridge and your pantry. What can I do with that information that's useful for you? Well, one of the ideas I have is like, I want to use ChatGPT plus what I have as leftovers to say, what can I make for a meal for people with what I have available? And then it gives me a bunch of options, and then I can choose what I actually want to eat, right? And then it gives me a recipe to make it.
I can see all that stuff being, like you said, like being within Playhouse's system, because then now, like what you said, it's like if I have my information and I have a chat bot that is personalized for me on my information, and like you were saying, obviously with Playhouse, you're going to own this information. it will know that I have I have chicken wings that I got 7 days ago, or whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. And
I can chop that up and put it in an omelet.
And it'll give suggestions off of the type of things that I've gone to, maybe the type of restaurants I've gone to. It's like, hey, would you like to make
if you start rating the recipes, and if you start rating meals you've had at other restaurants who are also putting their recipes into the system, or if you consume recipes from content creators that it can ingest and you whatever, yes, all of those things. And here's where I want to go with that, right? Like, if I build this grocery list, the idea would be like, all right, I also know the price of all these products and goods, right? So I know how much you're spending on groceries, but I also know how much you're spending on other household consumer goods. So what if I give you a budgeting and planning tool that helps you also file your taxes and plan your family wealth, and also plan for trips, and also plan for things you need for your kids, or a whole home operating system. And I think a lot of the resources and tools that you would be building for that, I already will have to build for. I'm building a business operating system,
Yeah.
And there's shared resources, because both in your personal life and your professional life, you deal with people, and those things often intersect, right? So you'll have a directory of people, and you'll have to say, are they a professional, a personal, or a mixed connection? And, because you have to account for this overlap between your personal and your professional life.
Bro, yeah. If we get, like I said, it's like just gamifying everything, it changes how we start. Like, people wake up and like, man, I gotta get, like, if we add the quote unquote, the addictive tendencies of social media tools and stuff like that, but then put it for something like a Farmville, to where it's like, this person constantly playing this game is helping the community build.
Yeah, and it's actually, I want to minimize the amount of time they spend actually playing the game,
Because then now it's a virtual.
I want to maximize how much time they're spending in the present moment.
Yeah, and like what you said, and I think that's where, and this was just a very good point, where I think the automation comes in, is that you can attach your virtual AI bot or whatever it is, or set it to automation that, hey, I put $30 in this account and it's going to run on AI to just do the little things that I needed to do. And I don't need to be here. I just need to make sure that it's enough money in the account and I can check in and do it if I want to. But then now it just basically runs almost like a same donation account, like as if you were a donor, to say, hey, $30 a month is going to go to me collecting these resources. And I know that I can go check on what things got built with those resources this month, or whatever it may be. I can check my airdrops or whatever it is. And you don't have to check on it. But then now when you go, and then again, this is where the real life moment comes in. I can, instead of me being on my phone, I can go to the orchard, or I can go to the garden and go meet with the other people that are also donating at an event or whatever it may be, connect community wise. And it's like, there's so many things that, like, the automation of things can make the rest of life where you actually can be more present, because you're not focused on the mundane. So
100%.
That's some dope shit, bro. Like, you got my, and this is the problem every time we talk, is like, now it's like, I'm like, fuck, now I gotta sit here and think about, there's a whole game arm to add to this thing.
The reality is, we know where your MVP is. This is the big sexy pitch. Your MVP, we already know. That's like, you can't get to this without proving the first initial thing.
Yeah.
Because that's how investors think. They're like, show me that people have some sort of demand in this industry that you can start producing an income from. Show me you can get a foothold. Show me you can get a foothold in the market and stay there for a little bit, and then I'll believe you, in the sense that we can grow something bigger here, and that the vision you have exists, that you know your space well enough to make this vision possible. But it starts with building trust, and trust starts with building a record, or building a history of transactions where you're proving out your capabilities in the space that you're selling to them, because the investor is buying you, in terms of your capability to solve the problem you're selling them on.
It got me thinking. Now, what is the market, or how much money is given to agricultural nonprofits? Because I'm pretty sure that's
probably a lot.
Probably,
I mean, like, so you were talking about how hard it is to acquire real estate, but like, there's all these like, special loans for starting farms and stuff. And I don't know how that intersects with urban environments, but if you're starting an urban farm, I think it should qualify for the farming loans.
yeah.
And if it doesn't, that's somewhere where it feels like we should be pushing back and trying to access those resources to make that possible. Because that would be one of those representations where there's a systemic issue that's arbitrarily being blocked because of a zoning issue, arguably, or whatever. And it would make a lot of sense because there is a resource lack there, and there is a resource that we could evolve to meet the need of that community, right?
Yeah.
And that's the point of that loan. And if we wouldn't be using it for that purpose because it's zoned improperly, that's just stupid.
Yeah, dog. It's holy.
There's so many, this is the problem with every part of the economy, though. Like, this is like, we talk about it like we're surprised, but we just go and see the same problem everywhere.
Yeah. It's like, all you have to do is just, and I mean, I think that's where we're at with this age and innovation, is that people like me and you are kind of like, you know what? All right, I'm done asking for permission. If I make a game and I take donations and I take those donations and give it to the people that are going to buy these places, that because of the fact that they didn't have those resources, that was the only reason why they couldn't get those places. So then now if I get them the resources, it doesn't matter how I got it to them, as long as I get it to them. So then now it's like, it's crazy to even think again that like we have the same conversation in every single sector, especially when it comes to nonprofits or philanthropy. It's so hard to be a philanthropist, but it's so easy for your taxes to get taken out of your paycheck to do nothing, or as they say, to take care of those in need, as they say, even though we have the most homeless of all time. So I'm trying to even think now, because I'm just going through my head. I'm just thinking like old school Pokemon with the little character. You're just like going around. You can do like 8-bit if you want to. You can have, it'll be like a modern map, kind of like a Pokemon Go, but then you can change your character's look of 8-bit, anime, Ready Player One, or whatever it may, Minecraft. And then now, well, we'd have to create like a kid version that theirs isn't translated to money. It's like they just simulate that thing, and if their parents want to, they can do it for
Do you know what it is?
Karma.
That's what we give kids.
Oh.
They don't earn money, they earn karma. But karma and money are kind of the same way in some sense.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding positive and, not necessarily penalizing negative behaviors, but rewarding negative behaviors less than positive ones.
Because then, perfect example.
Because even when you do something wrong or bad, you have the opportunity to learn and overcome it in the future. So that's why it's like, maybe you earn a bonus when you choose to act differently in the same situation, and it's to your benefit long term, right? And that's where karma as a concept fits in with this system.
So you got me thinking, because then now it's like for the kids version, you can basically be like, okay, you can earn.
I would call it HP, because heart points, and then it fits in with the website I own, Heartland DAO, because I want to do something with those point system.
Okay. So then,
it's a whole branding thing. That's all. I'm throwing it out there.
Because then because my main thing is like they earn whatever they earn, and then we can just have it to where it's a point system. Because more or less, what I would say is, I would make this game, I would probably make it a nonprofit itself, because then now with the
kids earn. I know that's the point system and they're earning it, but could they redeem those points for toys and stuff?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, toys or books or whatever things that we can, like, maybe, like I said, it's like maybe they want to redeem it for like a hoodie or something like that, or a shirt or whatever it may be. After so many points, which you got to obviously grind it out if you're a kid, but you're basically grinding it out to basically build these things. And then now what we can also do is, with that token system, we can say that, okay, if they redeem it, it allows them to get a certain, like, we correlate that to a certain resource. So then now the nonprofit would basically be like, okay, we're going to get a little plot for these kids that basically just bought some hoodies, which is a correlation.
And then you know what I want to do also, though, is I want to build in learning modules and build in apprenticeship tracks. So you basically choose a skin, and then you can move through the stages of the learning and skills development of that skin, so that you can become that character in real life and make money from that skill set in real life, and reward the educational process and, you know, the learning system that you would need to do to go through that. It could also be done in 2D, IoT, online, offline, hybrid kind of style environment.
Holy shit. So you're basically talking about, that might be a whole different thing in itself, because now you're talking about, like,
yes, it could be a different front end platform, but again, it's still Playhouse, and the reason why is because for your home or your work life, you need to develop these skill sets to do what you want, right? It all comes, and then all of this knowledge and education that you participate in still needs to be represented in your digital identity, because it becomes an asset and a resource for you as you operate publicly with other people in the environment.
Holy shit.
You know, it's like having your college degree, you know, but different, because it'd be more tied to your literal skill set and less to some like bullshitty brand of like general smartness.
Bro, this might be one of our more profound episodes, because this might have unlocked something to, like, I want, like, playing games and stuff like that is always great, but it's like, if there's no, not to say there's no reward, because obviously you can get the reward of endorphins or whatever it may be, but it's like, if you knew that you're playing a game, just like how people are going crazy and playing Minecraft, people would play this on like a Twitch or whatever it is, but then now you could get donations from there, and people could also donate on there as well too. And then now it's like you have this constant flow of money that even it doesn't matter if there's a recession. Literally, people are going to be like, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to donate my stuff anyway, and just keep on going from there. Like, bro, this
before Playhouse was Playhouse, it was Unipro.
Unipro. Oh shit. I remember you showed me this. Yeah.
So this is like the dashboard version of what we've been talking about. Obviously, the rest of it looks like the map.
Yeah. So basically, bro, how about this? Because more or less, that's the same concept that we would do for Farmville. We just basically
so that's Playhouse, and that's where I'm like, I want to put Playhouse in everything. Your urban Farmville is everything else we add to it that makes it cool and fun. Everything that's boring and mundane, that's mostly what I'm all about. Housekeeping. I'm not about fun, but because I do all the housekeeping at Playhouse, everything is fun. Life is a game when you have Playhouse.
Makes sense. Yeah, nah, shit, you got me, bro. That's one hell of a sales pitch right there. You got me, dog. Because, like I said, I'm just sitting here. It's just like people play Minecraft like crazy, but Minecraft does not do anything for anybody.
People are going to play Produce Matrix like crazy, and real people are going to make real money playing Produce Matrix, and everyone else is going to, like, be better off because we're investing in real problems that need solutions instead of bullshit.
Yeah, because then now, oh my goodness, because then
and it's like, if altruism isn't compelling enough for people, then we'll turn it into a degenerate gambling casino that benefits the public.
Because then now people will be like, well, shit, I saw that this person got such and such funding for their urban farm. I might as well become an urban grower too. And then people are just going to like follow the leader, just like how everybody was trying to come out with an NFT. Everybody's going to try to get an urban farm. But then now it's like, you can't fake a good urban farm. We can come and see it.
Well, it's also kind of like the solar movement in California. You used to be able to sell your solar back into the grid, but only the people who bought it 10 years ago get to do that. They were grandfathered in. Now they don't buy back energy anymore. You put energy into the grid for free if you can't capture it all, and you don't get compensated for it. And the reason for it is,
and that's why you need Bitcoin mining.
They need to make money because their business operations aren't sustainable with that deal. So they're helping the grandfathered people in die off so that they eventually can recapture that free energy maker and not have to lose money on them anymore.
Yeah, I would say I would take Bitcoin mining out there, but I want nothing to do with California and those tax rates. Hell to the no. It's like what, 50% or some shit like that. Some crazy.
Well, I don't know what it is on businesses, but I know like they have a state sales tax of like something like 15%, maybe 30%.
Yeah, bro, fuck that. Like, no, hell no. Like hell to the no. But yeah, man, like, shit, I'm pumped, bro. I mean, I feel like we do this every time, obviously, but I mean, that's again, I mean, we say it every time, but that's the power of this type of technology, is that essentially in the matter of a couple a conversation, and it's no longer, it's like taking those like high conversations, like, bro, what if we did this, 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 and this? But then we have that really smart friend in the room that's like, boom, let's put it all together. Literally in seconds. That's what
it's doing. Like, so to be fair, Rich, I've always been the person who can write this document.
Yeah.
Right. But it would have taken me like 2, 4, 6 weeks to do it because I procrastinate and I'm really nitpicky with my words.
You're human.
I just, have a lot more going on in my head where I don't have the clarity of my thoughts to be able to go through this entire document all at once. But so one, I've been thinking about this for years in some form, right, with the UniPro thing.
Yeah.
So it was just like, how do we bring that to life here? The video game comparison is Farmville. So, I would like, it's not that like when you already picture Farmville before you're writing the prompt, it feels like, okay, how do I describe how to use Farmville to represent reality to make these exchanges possible? And that's what I was describing to ChatGPT,
You think that's
the vision I'm holding in my head that I would have been writing into a document that I could just give enough of a leading prompt to ChatGPT to do for me.
You think that Apple Pro would buy this game from us? Probably.
For sure, man. I think people, I don't think we should be selling the game. I think we should be giving it away for free. And then to go back to what you were saying, which is taking a percent transaction for providing the platform to facilitate the economy, because we're gamifying that economy.
Bro, yeah. Because then now if we like, just imagine we got like farmers playing this shit too. They're like, shit, fuck it, I might as well play.
Well, right. Well, like it's not like they're gonna want to play, but then they're gonna be like, what realistically we're gonna be able to do to bring the farmers in is they're degenerate gamblers and like stock trading people. A lot of farmers are really into finance, mostly because they pay attention to the commodities market, buying and selling the futures and whatever of like grains and feed and like livestock. But if we tokenize that, put that in the dashboard for them, that's how we introduce them to that economy. And there's a lot of young farmers or young family members of farmers who will eventually take over their farms and are coming of age right now or of age taking over the farms from their parents who played 8-bit plus video games growing up, who this would probably resonate with on some level. Who are like forward thinking, forward looking, because their resource is the real estate they have. How do they take their farm to the next level without, this could give them access to the resources they need to compete with the big farms, So,
oh shit, man.
There's so many ways we could go with all of these things, but it's like, how do we be strategic about which economies to create tokenized video games for, when, and what order? At least that's Playhouse's challenge, because that's how our business model grows in terms of being a digital identity security manager. in terms of what you're trying to accomplish with Produce Matrix, and I would love to help support, it's like, no, you want to tackle the direct problem of urban farming, and we can solve it by creating a tokenized video game environment of that economy.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, shit. You just basically just summarize that the whole gambit, because I mean, just tokenizing the buying and selling of the produce with the Produce Matrix marketplace, tokenizing the ability to build these urban farms across the city, and then we'll tokenize actual energy and more or less shoot. Like I said, we can tokenize the hydroponic gardens itself and have people take care of those things as well too.
And I think that's a natural step too. But even when we're tokenizing the urban farms, you might as well turn around, repurpose the software, like you were saying, to go do real farms as well. And specifically the small independent family farms, because they have similar problems that this is a tool for.
So then I could just basically fund them through the game. And then just
you're solving a problem for rural areas, which is that could be a huge inspiring narrative flip on a whole different level on other things as well. You could have this crazy story where you both solve urban farming and small rural family farming at the same time.
I actually think I have a connection that this might really, on the Kansas side, really take off with, because I'm supposed to talk with somebody in K-State about their agriculture.
Maddie's family has a farm. Her best friend's a farm family. Our real estate agent and her husband are both farm families. Those two are from Kansas. Maddie and her friend are from Nebraska. I know a few more farm people. I know a lot. You know, there's a lot of people in this area. Even Shecker sells agriculture SaaS.
That's who I need to talk to. I need to talk to Shecker, because he would definitely know. He would help me in a lot of connections with the farming side of things too. Because like you said, he is. I appreciate that. I completely forgot that he's doing that.
He is very frustrated because he feels very neglected and sidelined. Like, he wants to be a part of like KC Futures DAO and stuff. Like, he's super into blockchain and Web3. Like, he's building a digital identity company for healthcare. But that's what his wife's building. And he's building image recognition software for farmers.
Yeah.
So he's putting cameras in front of cows and like whatever and measuring their health.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him and get in contact, because like I said, I think that, and especially too, that might even be something. Is he a for-profit or non-profit for the AI stuff?
Not for-profit. He is definitely a business dude. Yeah, which is good. I think you could utilize his mindset on a lot of your stuff.
Yeah,
because if you get him bought in on it, you're gonna get all of the do-goods bought in on it.
Yeah,
you have to have the sound business foundation to get through all of the do-gooders, due diligence checks. They'll always bite on the hook of a good story, but their people internally, their analysts, might not if they don't like the underlying mechanics. So you still need someone like a Shecker and me who's ruthlessly prodding the mechanics of the business operations to make sure, is it sustainable? Or is this going to be a money pit that just burns?
Makes sense. Yeah, which a lot of things in tech right now are money pits, as they're building out all this stupid shit.
Yeah, the direct-to-consumer tech vertical, 100%, that's exactly what that is. And then on the flip side of it, you see a lot of it in nonprofits as well. Because the vast majority of the funds in nonprofits go to funding the operations of the nonprofits, which is just paying highly exorbitant salaries to like rich kids who don't want to do anything. So,
yeah, sounds like a crazy time, bro. But all right, man.
All right,
we out this joint.
For you, me and ChatGPT.
Another one.
Rich, no dollar signs, Dr. Business.
Hey,
see you next week.
You guys are missing out on money. I'm telling you right now. You guys are gonna look back on this episode and be like, "Oh my God, they gave us the whole blueprint for Farmville, and we just sat there, and now it's here."
Yeah, well, we're already executing on it, so
too late.
Come work with us, not against us.
We'll be hiring. We'll be putting LinkedIn employment here soon. All right, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Yep.